video. This is the third time that I'm filming it and my battery is 9%, so wish me luck. I hope that everything will go right this time. Hi guys, my name is Sabine and welcome to another video and welcome to finally another wrap up. It has been 5 months since I last filmed a wrap up and it's such a shame because wrap ups and TBRs are my favorite videos to watch and to film, and I believe that you guys also like them very much. So I'm sorry that it has been such a long time, but like I said in my previous videos, I had a really difficult time adjusting to this last year of high school. It's really busy and I have to do projects and I have homework and I have really big tests that I have to study for. So yeah, it's really busy. So school is unfortunately my #1 priority right now and reading is my second priority. But within the course of my 5 months, I did finish 5 books and I started maybe in total 9 or 10, but I just haven't been able to finish them. But first I will show you the 2 books that I have finished at the mid-August, at the end of August. I read these 2 books in a series while I was in America and right after I got back from America, because this series, wow, this series, it hooked me. So the first book is A Court of Thorns and Roses and the second book is A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas, and wow, these books are so good. I gave A Court of Thorns and Roses a 4.25 out of 5 stars, and I also sort of buddy read this with Chelsea from Book Market. I will leave a link to her channel in the description down below, and we sort of buddy read it because I was in America and I was doing all these fun things, so I did not have that much time to read, although I did read like 75% of this book while I was in America, so this also has a special memory to me. And a lot of people have mixed opinions about it, but I don't know why. It did take me a while to really connect with Feyre and to get into this new magical world. So right after I finished A Court of Thorns and Roses, I immediately wanted to start A Court of Mist and Fury, and I gave this one, I think, a 4.75 out of 5 stars. The only thing why, you know, I'm taking off half a point is because of the first 100 pages, and if you have read the book, you will understand why I'm taking off half a point. Maybe you understand it. I just didn't like the sort of quick development in those first 100 pages, and again, I really needed to adapt to it, but this book was even better than A Court of Thorns and Roses. It's definitely in my top 10 of this year, but I don't know if it would be my #1, but it's so good, and I feel that if I would reread it right now, I would definitely give it a 5 out of 5 stars. The world building, the world just got expanded even more, and I love the Night Court. I love Valerius. I want to live there so badly right now. I'm just so interested in learning more about the courts, and just Sarah J. Maas, she did it again. So A Court of Wings and Ruin is definitely like my #1 book that I want to get in 2017. Those 2 books were absolutely amazing, and then it took me almost 2 months to finish another book. So I buddy read half of this book with Karis from Karis on Reading. I visited her at the end of October. I went to Birmingham and we just had 5 amazing days of visiting cities and doing all sorts of fun things, and we also started It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover, and this was such a good read. This is my 3rd Colleen Hoover book and I'm still not disappointed with her. I love her writing style. You just get sucked in from page #1. It's so easy to read. The characters are so likable, or I don't know why, but I love all of her characters. So this book is about a 25-year-old girl called Lily, and she falls in love with this guy called Ryle, but then a love from her past comes back into her life and things start happening and evolving, and this was a really emotional book. I definitely had to, you know, wipe away some tears, and that doesn't happen with me easily. This definitely has a trigger for abuse, and if you don't like to read about abuse, don't read this book, but I think that it has a good message in it. So yeah, I definitely love this one, and I gave this one also a 4.5 out of 5 stars. After I read that book with Karis, I was really, again, in a reading mood, and I really wanted to stay in the contemporary genre because, I don't know, I was feeling contemporary. So I did pick up a different kind of contemporary, and this book is The Art of Being Normal by Lisa Williamson, and as you can see, buy one, get one half price, which is a great Waterstones deal. I love Waterstones, it's such a nice bookshop. Is a contemporary that follows two main characters. One is called David, and he wants to be, or she wants to be, a girl, but she doesn't know how to tell her parents. His parents, you know, he's still a boy, but he wants to be a she. That's what I mean. And then we also follow Leo, and he has a very big secret that you will, you know, see in the book. And it was probably very obvious, but I did not see it coming. Well, when they wanted to tell it, like a couple of pages before, I was like, this can be it. Yeah, and then I was right. He went to a different school. So he went to the same school that David goes to, and they form a very special friendship. And yeah, I love this book so much, and I definitely recommend it to you. Even though this book does have 5,000 ratings on Goodreads, I still think it's underrated, and I want more people to read it because there's still a lot of controversy, you know, taboo when it comes to transgender people. I cannot wait to read her new book that's coming out in 2017. I don't know what it's called, but it does have like a yellow cover. Don't know what the story's about, but I love this one, and I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. Okay, so my camera died, and right now I had to recharge it, and it's 10%, so I don't know if we're gonna make it, but let's go on with it because I've changed the lighting as well, so I'm sorry for that. But the last book that I finished until so far, and I did not finish it in November, but I still want to mention it because I read the majority of it in November, and that is Illuminae by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff, and I really enjoyed this book. It only took me 150 pages to get into it, to get into the way that they tell the story, because you obviously know this is told in like files and instant messages and recordings and all that kinds of stuff, and it's really awesome once you get into it. But it did take me 150 pages, and also the story, you kind of get thrown into it, so I also had to figure that out because it was kind of confusing. At the beginning of this story, you are following Katie and Ezra, and these two persons are our main characters, and in the beginning of the story, they just broke up, and right after they broke up, their planet Carenza has been invaded by this company called Bitag. And unfortunately, they don't end up on the same evacuation ship. So you have 3 ships that evacuate the people from Carenza. So you have the Copernicus, the Alexander, and the Hypatia, or at least that's how I think you pronounce them. So Katie ended up on the Hypatia, and Ezra ended up on the Alexander. So something happens at the beginning of this book, and Katie and Ezra, they both are thinking like, maybe something big is behind all of this. I did give this one a 4 out of 5 stars, but I cannot wait to read Gemina right now because I've heard nothing but great things about it until so far. So those were the 5 books that I finished in the past 5 months. So right now I will show you all the books that I'm currently reading because it's quite a few, and it's been a while since I've done that, and I think I've actually never read this many books at the same time. But the first book that I'm actually like currently reading is The Safe House by Nikki French. This isn't such an ugly edition that my school chose, but this is basically a detective story, and it's not that great. I'm just like, And then a book that I've been reading ever since June and that I still haven't finished is Baker's Magic by Diane Zayler, but I have read like 85% of this book, and those last 15%, it has been such a long time since I read this book, so I feel like I'm completely out of the story and I don't know any details about it anymore. I do know that I really enjoyed it while I was reading it, and this book is about this girl. I don't even know her name anymore. She's called Bee, and she is starving. She does not feel good, so she wants to steal some pastries at a baker, but the baker finds out that she's trying to steal from him. The baker offers her a place to stay with him and to work for him, and then she will get food. And they find out that Bee has some magic and that she can bake emotions into cakes and cookies. That is just like a small thing from this book. You also have this great adventure that they're gonna go on. So this is a middle grade book, and I really enjoyed it. I think that if I would have read this within like 2 weeks, I would have definitely given this one a 4 out of 5 stars. But right now, I don't know what to do with this because Brit from Brit Reads gave this to me in a book swap, and I feel like I am disappointing her right now. So I'm sorry, Brit. So I just told you that I'm currently reading The Safe House for English, but I am actually still reading Cannery Row by John Steinbeck for English as well. I have read half of the book, but it's so boring, and I think I'm just gonna look up Spark Notes, and then I will make my test, so pray for me. And then the last two books that I have are also for school. So this one is for Spanish, and it's actually, they printed it out. So it's called Las pelirrojas traen mala suerte. It's something about redheads that they bring bad luck. I've read the first 5 pages. It's not interesting until so far, but I'm just gonna have to read it for my Spanish test. And then for French, I am reading La Symphonie Pastorale by André Gide. Oui, oui, c'est ça. So yeah, also not an interesting book. So those were the books that I read in these past 5 months and the 5 books that I'm currently reading. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and you can follow me on all of my social media pages that are Goodreads, Instagram, Snapchat, and my email address. I will leave links to those in the description down below. And thank you guys again so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!